Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another TBR video. So this video, we're doing a little spring cleaning, a little summer clean out, a little let's get my physical TBR under control TBR video. So we're going to focus for the month of May on reading only books that I own. So far in 2025, I've picked 8 to 10 books that I have wanted to read, whether they were on my physical TBR or if they were on Kindle. And I picked 2 books out of my physical TBR jar at random, and that was my TBR for the month. Unfortunately, it has not been as many books read from my physical TBR as I would have liked. So the month of May is 100% going to be physical TBR books only. So let's go ahead and jump into the books that I picked for the month of May that I have physically on my bookshelf. Or there are 2 books that are coming out in the month of May that I will be purchasing, that will be part of my physical TBR, that will also be in my TBR for this month. So I don't own 2, and we'll go ahead and jump. Let's just jump into those first because I don't have them and we can get them out of the way. So the first book that I will own, but has not been released yet, is Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. This is the last book in the Windy City series. This is following Rio. This is a character that you have seen in every single Windy City series book. He is one of my favorite characters. I'm anticipating a very, very, very good read because every book that I have read in the Windy City series has been amazing. So book 1 for the month of May is going to be Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. The next book that I have that has not been released, but I do plan on purchasing, is going to be The Love Haters. This is the new book by Catherine Center. I had gone to a meet and greet with Catherine Centers when she released the rom-commers, and at that meet and greet, at her presentation, her talk or whatever, she had mentioned this book, and I was super intrigued about it because it is about the U.S. Coast Guard and being prior military. Anything associated with the military is always going to grab my interest. And so when I heard that she was going to be making her next book on a Coast Guard MMC, I was very intrigued. Those 2 books are going to be the first 2 books that I have in my physical TBR. They will be picked up on May the 20th. Now, for the books that I physically own, the first book that I have is a book I was hoping I was going to be able to read in the month of April. It was on my April TBR. This was a brand new release. This is Emily Henry's new book, A Great Big Beautiful Life. This I have a love-hate, not really a love-hate. I am not a huge fan of Emily Henry. I still do purchase all of her books, and this is going to be a book that I'm hoping is going to be really good. I really do enjoy books about books or books about authors or anything like that, and that's kind of what this book is. I have heard that this book is the least romantic. It's more of a women's fiction type book, which her books are typically not heavy romance, but this one has the least amount of romance of all of her books, supposedly. So hoping this will be good. I've been all over the board when it comes to Emily Henry books. So I don't know where this is going to rate, but I am excited to read this for the month of May. The next book that I have is Quicksilver. I actually have this on Kindle, so while I do have a physical copy, I'm also going to be reading this on Kindle because this is a chunky little book. I am excited to read this. I have seen so many TikToks about this. I don't know why the author named the MMC Kingfisher. That just seems weird, but this is a romantasy. I am very excited to see what this is all about and see if this is... There are a lot of people who hype this book up, and I'm excited to see if this is actually worth the hype. And if so, I think the next book just came out or is about to come out, I think. And we'll be picking that up. So, be reading Quicksilver. Then we have Arch Enemies. This is actually on my 25 books to read in 2025. This is book 2 of the Renegade series. This is a young adult superhero romance. I read book 1 back in, I think, early 2024, so it's been quite a while. It ended on a cliffhanger. I was very surprised the way that it ended. So I do want to try to finish this because one of the goals that I have for 2025 is I want to try to finish a lot of the series that I am in the middle of and finish a lot of them that are on my physical TBR. And this checks both of those boxes. So I'll be trying to read Arch Enemies. Then I have Assistant to the Villain. I just got this for Christmas. I got Assistant to the Villain and then I got the second book of the series. I do not remember what it's called, but I've heard this is really good. I've heard it's quite funny and I'm really excited to read this. When this first came out, I was so intrigued. I wanted to pick this up so many times, specifically the ones that had the sprayed edges, but I never did. I just kind of kept putting it off and I just ended up putting it on my Christmas list. So I did end up getting it. My dad purchased it for me and I'm really excited to read this. I've heard it's pretty funny and I'm really excited to read this. So we have Assistant to the Villain, and depending on how this goes, I might end up reading the second book in the series if this is as good as I'm kind of anticipating it being. Then we have The Do-Over. This is by not Lynn Tom Ford. This is by Lynn Painter. This is another closed romance book. This is a very good romance type book if you have younger teens in your family that you don't want to give them spicy books, but you want to give a book that is really entertaining and good to read. And so I had never read The Do-Over. I have read a lot of her books, but I just never picked this up. I did give this to my 15-year-old and I don't think she realized what this book was about because she was so confused that the same day played over and over and over again, because essentially this is Groundhog Day and she didn't know that, and so she got very bored with this book and never finished it. But I'm excited because I like Groundhog Day. That's a good movie and I'm interested to see how this book goes and how it plays over and over and over again and see how I like it. And honestly, I might have actually read this a long time ago. I don't remember. If I ended up reading this, I might end up picking another book, but I vaguely remember reading this, but I don't know if it's because it's so similar to Groundhog Day and I have it in my brain, like the plot of Groundhog Day, so we'll see. But I have this on my list, and once I pick it up and I realize that I have read this before, I'll put this away and I'll find another book on my physical TBR, so hopefully that's not the case, but I have kind of a weird deja vu for this book, which is very appropriate considering this is The Do-Over. So if you hear my dog, he is sleeping over here. It is 10:30 at night, almost 10:45 at night. He is sleeping and having puppy dreams. The next book we have, I have tried to read so many times. I got this from Fairy Loot or Owl Crate, honestly, not Fairy Loot. I got this from Owl Crate and I do not remember when I got it. It was either in 2023 or really early in 2024. But I have tried to read this so many times. I have picked this up, I have listened to it on audiobook, and I've just never been in the mood to finish it. But I'm going to finish it in May. This is actually, I saw that it is available now on Hoopla for audio, and now that I'm having to go into the office, I'm trying to read a lot more audiobooks, especially the books that I think I'm going to have a hard time sitting down and physically reading. I've been trying to listen to in the mornings to and from work. I think this is going to be one of those books. So this is probably going to be 100% audio, but I'm so excited to try to get this done because I have had this book in my hand so many months saying I'm going to read it, and I never do. But we will read it in the month of May. Repeat with me again. We will read it for the month of May. A Fragile Enchantment. We also have another book that I said I was going to read a couple of months ago. This was on my March TBR. This is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. This is the second book of the Magnolia storyline in the Magnolia Parks universe. From reading Magnolia Parks and then also from reading Daisy Hates, I am definitely a Daisy fan. I am more of a Daisy person than a Magnolia person, but I'm hoping that picking the second book of Magnolia up, now that I know who Magnolia is, like her personality, who BJ is and his personality, hopefully I'll be able to enjoy Magnolia more, but we will see. I also did buy the entire Magnolia Parks books on Kindle, so this will be a Kindle book that I already own because these books get chunky as the series progresses, and I don't really want to carry around this big old book when I have it on Kindle. So Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home will be read in the month of May. We have another new release. This is Deep End. This came out by Ali Hazelwood. I think back in March is when this actually hit the shelves. I've heard very mixed signals on whether this is good or bad. I'm intrigued. I thought I was really going to like this when I heard the premise of this book, but when a lot of people are kind of bashing on it, I'm afraid it's not going to be everything that I anticipated in my brain, but we will see. This is also not going to be a woman in STEM. A lot of Ali Hazelwood books are focused on STEM, and so I don't dislike STEM books, but I don't know if that might be the reason why some of the books of Ali Hazelwood's aren't my favorite. There are definitely good books that I have read from hers, but they've never been like super outstanding. And I'm a little concerned that because I've never really loved Ali Hazelwood books, that with this one already kind of getting a little bit of bash, that this is going to be not as good as I'm hoping it's going to be. But we'll see. Hopefully this will be a good read. But we'll see. I'm excited. I like the cover and I like the sprayed edges. It's really cute. And I think this is really good time for the summer because I just got an email that my pool is opening on May the 1st in my neighborhood. Water's going to be cold as crap, but the pool's going to be opening. So this is very appropriate for summertime considering it's a pool book. So The Deep End. And then the last book that I have that I'll be reading in the month of May is another new release. This is Scythe and Sparrow. This is book 3 of the Ruinous Love trilogy. This is the trilogy that included Butcher and Blackbird, which is an amazing book. Book 2, Leather and Lark, was okay. I did not like that one nearly as much because I have an issue. Draw me a comment down below. This will be the question of the video. Do you guys get the ick or do you get turned off when an MMC or an FMC or something like that, one of the main characters, if they are a singer and if they sing like actual songs in the book? Because the problem that I had with Leather and Lark is Lark was a like singer songwriter, and there were whole songs in that book which I already did not like. But the other thing with that is that I listened to Leather and Lark through audiobook, and so you had the narrator singing her song in the audiobook, and it icked me so badly. I hated it. So I'm hoping this one's going to be way better. This is not a singer-songwriter. The FMC is a like carnival motorcyclist, I think. And then the MMC is a doctor because he is the main MMCs are interconnected. Like they're connected by being brothers through all the 3 books. So this is a doctor. They all follow like she's also I guess Sparrow. She's Sparrow. Is she Scythe? The FMC, whichever one she is a killer, also working in the carnival, and he is a doctor. So yeah. And also I really like Brynne Weaver's books because her trigger warnings are hilarious. She has eyeballs as a trigger warning. She has possibly sausages and or hot dogs. She has are drug addicted raccoons a trigger? Debate. That's one of the triggers. Sexy clowns. She has impaling. Not the sexy kind, but okay, that too. And then she has like weapons and sharp objects, explicit colorful languages, lots of injury and death, references to an injured dog. Not really liking that. It says injured dog. But if you've read Leather and Lark, you already know Bentley will be fine. He's too grumpy and badass to die. So, but there's a bunch of other trigger warnings in here that are just so fun. And this is the cover. It's very cute. This is going to be another audiobook because I have a feeling I really like the narrators in Brynne Weaver's books. This is also like a dual narration, and it's a dramatic narration, so you get like them acting everything out. That was the other down thing that I didn't like about Leather and Lark is Lark giggled constantly. So then you had the narrator who was also giggling, and it bugged me to no end. Hopefully this book will not have the FMC giggling constantly, because that was so infuriating. But we have Scythe and Sparrow. This is going to be a audiobook plus a actual physical read, because I have a feeling I'm going to want to highlight, hopefully, as I'm reading. But that is going to be it for all of my books that I'm going to be reading on my May TBR. We have so many physical books. I love this. I don't ever read this many physical books in 1 month. I am so much a Kindle girly lately that I've just been focusing on my Kindle so much, but I love being able to say I'm going to read all of these books. I love it. So we are going to put these on my little book cart here, and these are what I'm going to be reading for the month of May, and I'm excited. So we're going to go and put them right here, so I will have a place to grab all of my books. And that is going to be it for my video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Also, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on singers and or singing in books. Do you like it? Does it irritate you as much as it does me? Let me know down below. And with that, that's going to be it. And I'll see everybody in my next video. Bye.